Meant to Be Well Summit is created by three incredible women, Ambreen, Valerie and Andrea. The main objective is to bring together experts from around the world to raise awareness about the importance of holistic well-being. This summit aims to explore the multidimensional aspects of well-being, including physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. This isn't just any event. It's a unique, global summit marathon designed to cover all time zones across the globe. We created this event because we genuinely care about you. We believe that everyone deserves to thrive and live a life of well-being. This summit isn't just about learning, it's about transforming your life. Our speakers are dedicated to inspire, uplift, and help you tap into your full potential. Join us, and let these world-class thought leaders guide you toward a higher level of mental, physical, and spiritual well-being.
Hello everyone, welcome back again. So this session is about how to heal from trauma. Trauma is something that I think everyone faces at any point in life, right? And I also want to clarify one thing, that trauma is not something that you would just experience like from an accident or from something like this. Trauma is something that how your mind perceives any event. Any small or insignificant event can have a traumatic impact also on your mind. So it is very important that you learn what trauma is and how it is impacting us. And there's also a very important thing that there is no one size fits all process here. You need to understand yourself. You need to understand what are the techniques you can use, and then you can apply. And that's why I'm so honored to actually joined by one of the amazing person, Andrzej. I'm pronouncing the right name, right? Andrzej or something.
Yes, there's no trauma in it.
Yeah, that's great. He is a podcaster, entrepreneur, mindset coach, shaman, NLP specialist, Reiki master, an expert in mind and subconsciousness with over 10,000 hours meditation, blending Western and understanding with passion for Eastern wisdom, champion with over 10,000 hours of practice. His diverse background in psychology, NLP, hypnosis, and various healing modalities equips him to help others thrive in life, health, and spiritual growth. So thank you so much, Andrzej, for joining today. And it is really an honor to have you with us.
Thank you very kindly for that warm introduction. I'm honored and pleased to be here, especially with a topic that relates so closely to me because, well, as you said, I don't believe that there is a person in this world that haven't struggled with trauma, and I am no different. I have struggled with trauma so long, so hard, that I decided that this is time to let go of it once and for all.
Yeah. So tell us about, maybe you can tell us about yourself also, that what kind of trauma you went through, and then you can tell us that what exactly is trauma, what defines trauma, and then we move on.
Let's start with answering the second question. What is trauma?
Okay.
And the word itself can mean anything depending on the person that attached value to the word. Like, snow is snow, but there are 186 countries in the world that name it differently, yet the essence is the same. How I define trauma is an event that was bigger than us in one part of our life. And since it was bigger, we could not process emotions correctly, and that emotion got stuck in the body. And since confronting that emotion would lead to pain, our brain made a little black box to keep that trauma hidden deep within the body. But it's always with us. It is an invisible nail stuck in your foot. You cannot see it and you cannot take it out, but it will affect you deeply since the brain doesn't want you to feel pain. Sooner or later, you will drag your feet behind you, limping. And then brain, again, doesn't want you to confront pain. So will create layers in the mind, stating that this is perfectly normal. This is how people walk. People should drag their feet behind them. And this is the reason why exactly it's so hard to change. Because for us, it's so normal. We have been doing this for so long. We got addicted to this, not only to the experiences, but the chemicals that are caused by the trauma. And my journey itself started when I was very young, very blessed to have an enlightened teacher that showed me the way that what you see is not always what truly is there. And to truly perceive reality, you need to go beyond the senses. You need to let go of the pollution of the mind. And I have started studying. I studied psychology, dietetics, personal training, hypnosis, NLP, self methods, Ho'oponopono, um, internal family settings. Truth be told, there are so many from the West that I have studied, but I do not recall them all. Nowadays, I'm mostly focusing and only focusing on the Eastern understanding using traditional Chinese medicine, using esoteric Tao, using Tai Chi or Qigong or Kung Fu. And these days, I actually offer a remote offer to clean person, mind, and body from limiting beliefs and negative emotions. Completely done for you.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing, and that's very very right. That this this trauma actually is stuck in our mind, and then when it's stuck in the mind, which it start affecting our bodies, right? So that's and you were just before when you're joining this session, you were telling us that how it is affecting our body. So tell us a bit more about it. That how the trauma is stored and where it is stored. Sometimes some people say that like the pain is stored in our heart or chest, and then the
Hmm.
something like so. You tell us that where is it stored and how we can release the tension from using those
Hmm.
techniques to release the trauma.
Hmm. Trauma is unprocessed emotions.
Yeah,
Emotions cause chemicals to run through our veins.
yeah,
And from spiritual perspectives, emotions are magnetic fields.
yes,
And as you said, emotions are stuck in the body. And back in the day, Taoists, the sages of the past, have observed that our internal organs are correlated to emotions, to seasons, and to different body parts.
wow,
The organ that correlates the most to trauma and fear, by the way, are kidneys.
okay,
And those are negative emotions of the kidneys. When the kidneys are imbalanced, when kidneys are afraid of you, then those emotions need to be processed into those emotions that are positive for the kidneys, which is gentleness,
mm-hmm.
awareness, and stillness.
Yeah,
Kidneys correlate heavily with the ears, with the
okay,
bones,
yeah,
with the head as well, the lower back, and the ankles.
okay,
So mostly when people have lower back issue, it might be caused actually due to that. So what could we do in order to fix it? Well, we know that the ears are related to kidneys, the
yeah,
teeth are related to kidney. And during my Shaolin days, I have been taught practices by Shifu Yan Yun, and I'm going to show you some of them right now. This training is called yin training. In Kung Fu or East practices, there are yin training and yang training. Yang training is tough training, like Kung Fu, that is designed to release the heat and stuck energy. And just from that, if you would like to release stuck energy, Kung Fu with a good master is a good way to start. And what we are doing right now is the soft training that would energize the body and provide the flow of energy. So there are some meridians in the east that could be explained as veins, but not really in the west. So if we stimulate one point in the vein, the energy will go to another point in that a particular meridian. And if that is done with time and effort, and the more love you give yourself, and the more time you give yourself, the process will take less time. So without further ado, because this is very easy, you can do it each and every day, ideally Monday and evening, and just be aware that this is only one method that you can use to elevate your well-being. So all of those techniques, please treat them as meditation. Meditation means please focus on the movement of the quality, on the breathing, and allow your mind to be free of any attachments to the thoughts. So the first easiest way to move the energy from the kidneys is simply by tapping the teeth.
Okay.
And during this process, what is the most important is the vibration that is being caused by the tapping.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
You want to focus on the vibration, hear it deep within the body. There are also many practices in Ayurveda and Pranayama that have similar understanding of this, and Esoteric Tao is the same. It's actually all about the vibration that is behind the movement. So you would like to do it in the morning, in the evening, approximately 36 times, but either focus on quality or quantity. We could do it right now. It's not going to take much time. And that will allow the energy to move. But we have other organs, and there could be energy stuck in the other organs as well. The kidneys itself are related to winter because, as you can see, in the winter, everything is hiding underneath the ground.
Okay.
And kidneys are the roots of the body. This is like energy reserves. And this is exactly why you shouldn't excel your energy during the winter.
Wow.
It's not the right season for that.
Wow.
Before winter, right now, we have fall. And fall is represented by the lungs, by the white energy. Lungs like to be dry. It's their natural environment. The negative traits of the lungs is grief, depression, sadness, emotions that heavily correlate to fall. And this actually shows very correlation between those emotions, because if you cultivate sadness greatly and you are just trapped in that emotion, sooner or later sadness can become depression or trauma. And well, there's then those fears, traumas will make you try to control your environment, and you cannot control the environment, so that will lead frustration to you.
Yeah.
Lungs are correlated obviously with the nose.
Okay.
And if you see, there will be some points, like there is one point here,
Okay.
one point here, there will be like small holes. It means the veins, the meridians are connecting in those points, and by massaging those points, you will not only able to breathe better, but you will move that energy in the body.
Wow.
So you can massage your points right here, right here. In the end, whatever you choose to do is good if it serves you and you are not obsessed with the practice. I have been, yes.
That's a very good point, because people get obsessed with something and then they said, okay, it's happening or it's not happening. Yeah.
Yes, I have been told many times by many different masters that the yin training that is supposed to move the flow of blood, oxygen in the body, always should be done carefully, and you always should do less than you can. On the other hand, when it comes to yang training, but the premise is ignore the fatigue and keep on going. But be aware that this is an Eastern understanding of fitness. And the problem is that Shaolin monks train completely differently. They treat it as a meditation, and hence they can do it every day. We are focusing on the external to look good at all cost, and that depletes our energy.
Very true. Very true. That's very good, actually, especially that you point out that, the Chen is also saying that, like, especially the sinus or flu, you can just clear up all the energies and that was store and something. And like, like we seen that people are actually stuck with those kind of negative energy. And so what practices they should actually carry out to release the energy? You say that, like, it can be stored on the lungs or kidney. And especially I really like the part that how the seasons affect us, because to be honest, I never thought of like seasons affecting our mental well-being or something. But I think it makes sense when you just point out that how the winters are there when people are trying to protect or something, like go under things like that, and the fall is like when things are going under down. So it makes sense, because I think it's the seasons and also create certain energy that affect us. And when we are mindful of what is happening to us as in relation with the external environment, we can take good care of ourselves. So so just tell us a bit more about that, how if someone has got some severe trauma, let's say maybe a trauma which is stem through the fear or maybe through the deep depression or sadness, what practices they can carry on, or what practices they should adopt to release that trauma?
If it's usually it's built step by step, brick by brick, for the soul to have beautiful castle to live in. And that means when you start this journey, you start to move the body. Then you start with breathing exercises. Then you start to meditate. Unfortunately, if it's a very severe trauma, you're not supposed to do it alone, because that can lead you to be re-traumatized. And if you are a novice in the game, you should give yourself love and time. The more love and time you give yourself, the less process will take. If that needs to be done right here, right now, you need to find someone that works with energy. Give him access to your subconsciousness, and he can probably clear it in 1 day or 2. I know I can do that, but you can choose to work with me, but I'm not for everyone. But if I would provide a tip how to deal with severe trauma, is let go, give yourself love. The more energy you give the trauma, the bigger it will be. And if you're brave enough, because trauma, as we said, is this emotion packed in black little box hidden deep within the body. And the trauma itself is not really that scary, but our perception to trauma, to that event in our life, this is what is scary. So if you're strong enough, you can open the box and embrace that emotion. See where it affects you. Like, we're talking about fear. Do you have fear in your relationship that your spouse will cheat on you? Do you have fears on your business? Usually, if the fear is big, it will manifest on all layers of the life. So you can ask yourself questions. Why am I afraid? And once you are able to see fully the situation, just laughing at the situation will dissolve it completely, because it is literally like saying, I am bigger than this situation. It no longer affects me. And that is a very profound way to change, because this will also release any layers of the mind that were caused by those negative emotions. Fear most likely causes need to control. And people to cope, to not show their fear of environment, try to control the environment, try to control everything, become rigid, become stubbornness, and that internal fire created by this evaporates the fluids and leads to burnout.
Yeah.
So awareness is the first step.
Yes, yes. So you just pointed out really brilliantly that we need to be aware of this, and one thing that is very important, that if the trauma is really severe for a person and they cannot handle, it's really advised to actually seek professional help, and don't do it alone, because there is a danger that you re-traumatize yourself, and it can actually do more harm than any good, of facing the fear on yourself, or everything all alone. And you point out a very good thing also, that it's like energy things, that we are all energy, and that's how we can actually manipulate our energy, that if we can clear the energy if the bad energy is stored or something. So you pointed out that awareness is the big thing. So how one can aware of that? You said that we can ask a question, but is there any technique of this? Because asking a question in a wrong way can also lead to the wrong direction. So how to become aware of what is trauma?
Know thyself. All journeys start with the first step. And if you give yourself time and love and build it slowly, brick by brick, you won't be burned out by the process. So it all starts. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I mean, how we can aware of our trauma, because sometimes we are not even aware that what's happening, especially in if we talk about in general, lots of entrepreneurs, or even you talk about the relationship, people are afraid of their own self-imposed fears, which sometimes they're not even aware of, and those fears have the root to their traumas. I mean, deep down trauma, maybe from the childhood or from any events. So how to actually know that what is their trauma that is stopping them to move in that direction?
If you have been working with wood and you got a splinter in your hand, and instead of taking it out, you start to rub it, it will get deeper and deeper into the body, to the point that you will not be able to see it.
Absolutely.
And this is very similar with the trauma, because emotion itself lasts approximately 90 seconds. But if you got attached to that emotion, or you're saying, no, I don't have this emotion, you become disconnected. It will become deeper and deeper to the body. That will be actually very hard to find. And it will be very hard to find for you, because, well, you are in the process, you are in this loop, and you are just not aware of it. For other people, it might be obvious with the first glance. This is why it's so important, because in the West, people want results right here, right now, and that comes with consequences. If you start building the house from the roof, well, it's gonna fall on your head in the least expecting moment, most likely when you eat with your family. Release what you can, give yourself love. And how to build awareness, this is a very big thing, because being fully aware, which is having no thought, is first step to be a Buddha or an enlightened person. And this is a goal of pretty much all East martial arts practices. And they train severally. And people might think that they start with meditation. No. Meditation is very dangerous, especially if you have anxiety, depressions, fears. It will amplify them. Meditation is a tool. It will amplify the state that you're currently in. What I would say, if you are able to start with the body, if you are having so many emotions that you just cannot think straight, you need to release those emotions. How can we do that? Well, you can go for a walk in the forest. You can take off your shoes and ground yourself using energy of the earth. You can dance. You can do any physical activity that gives you joy. And that would be a first step. get a tutor. I believe if you want to reach the top of the mountain is essential. You cannot, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
If person is struggling with deep fears, like there are people that are constantly going from one toxic relation to another toxic relation. It's obvious for everyone around that person. Yet for that person, that person doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
And if something has been passed to you by your ancestors within genes, well, that would be severely harder to resolve, to let go, because all your family has that and all your family impacts one another.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So how to actually uncover that? I mean, this is a very this situation could be really serious, because like people, and that is somehow very obvious when we see the toxic person and we see that they are so much dominated by their insecurities, that they keep on doing the same thing. They're not letting anyone close to them. They're doing the same mistake again and again. So what are the things that you recommend to become aware of all these things, that what's happening to them?
Well, it depends. Asking before I answer that, if you all flowers bloom in due time, if you see a person that is struggling yet not asking for help, don't
Yeah.
help that person,
Yes.
because you might do more wrong.
Yeah.
Everything happens when the time is right. And funny thing is, you cannot really force your soul to grow. The soul knows exactly what the soul wants. You can only slow down the process with your ego when you allow the ego to be the driver in this journey called life.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we will be learning something, a meditation from esoteric Tao called Cosmos Healing Sounds.
Wow.
There will be a sound for each internal organ that will clean it from that particular emotion and will transform it to a positive emotion that relates to the organ. So, for example, we have liver. And I think liver is very easy to understand because it relates to obviously anger and frustration. Most people don't know that the frustrations are actually aimed toward themselves. If you know that is the process, and if you have done this meditation for some time, you will actually start seeing that there is something amiss and you can let it go. So I would say, if you have patience, come tomorrow. We will learn the meditation for all internal organs. Just keep practicing and it will be done.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, there's a question by Chan, that what are the daily ritual mindfulness practice, and he actually has sent this another, that other than tapping and meditation.
Awareness can be anything. You can do Tai Chi Quan, Qigong, and I'm gonna reply that with a story.
Okay,
There was a great master living in Shaolin Monastery, and the monastery of Shaolin is known to practice a lot each day. Yet the master sat on his chair playing guitar using only one string, and that is very strange compared to all those martial artists practicing 24/7. So sooner than later, a student appeared asking questions. Master, all of us are training so hard, developing all those different forms. Yet you are standing right here and you just play guitar using one string. How come is that? The master smiled and answered, because everyone else is searching for their song while I have already found it.
Wow. Yeah.
There could be as many mindfulness practices as there are people. The top of what I would call is Wu Wei, acting by not acting. It's a philosophy developed from Taoists that you just allow things to happen to you. And if you just starting out, I strongly encourage to work with the body. If you are more advanced, work with the breath. If you are very advanced, work with energy. The like standard method of developing is Tai Chi Quan in the East. But for us in the West, we have so many blockages in the body that it would just cause more inconvenience and damage. If you perceive a meridian or a vein like a hose, like a garden hose, and there's a blockage and it doesn't go, it's gonna cause more damage.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, you're right. Actually, there's so many mindfulness practice. And as you actually in the beginning, you just mentioned that just going to go walk in the nature and just feel this. I mean, I often tell to a lot of people that you just go and just feel the moment. It's just feeling, just diverting your attention to what you're feeling at the moment with your five senses, like the feeling of touch, the feeling of smell, the eyes, like what you see. You just focus on this moment, and then you will see that there is a lot more in this world other than that. You're like your thoughts are actually keeping you busy to blind your vision, and you feel much alive in the moment. And you also mentioned that to just take off your shoes and ground yourself, feel the, like, take the energy from the earth. And like I usually go to the park almost like every day or the other day to and walk on the grass, and that feeling, it's so refreshing. And it's not only like if your just mind is full of thoughts that, oh, this is what I'm going to present the next day, and you're not focusing on anything, you will get the energy anyways, but you wouldn't feel it. But when you actually focus yourself, or focus your energy to that moment, you will be able to actually live that moment, and you would feel it. And you will actually, when I do this, right, you just walk on the grass like barefoot, and you feel the energy going to your to yourself, and you rejuvenating yourself. It's just the matter of, I would say, that manipulating the energy, and that's how it is. So moving
That's
forward. Yeah.
great conversations. I
Yeah.
would like to also point out that the method that you point out, the five senses, see what you can see what you can smell, will
Yeah.
make you aware, and it's a very good for people that are naturally very logical. I usually say that there are three types of people that are
Okay.
naturally logical, and that method is perfect for them. There are people that operate more on emotions, and there are people that operate on energy more. You need to be conscious of which type are you, and then find a method that relates to you greatly. And just a few comments about the grounding. If you love going barefoot in the forest, I highly, highly encourage you to buy a grounding mat so
Okay.
you can put it on your bed and be grounded while you sleep. I highly,
Oh,
highly recommend it. It's very good. It actually helps a lot with many chronic diseases because it takes all the loose electrons and heals the body. It makes everything flow the way it should flow.
wow, wow, that's. And by the way, how to actually find out that are we the energy person, or the emotional person, or the logical person?
You can ask yourself when you are making decisions, are you using your mind to find the solution of your issue? Are you using emotions to find a new issue? Or maybe you are using intuition, the third senses, you can see the energy. Well, then obviously you're an energy person. But just ask yourself, be true.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with each of those types.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And you actually pointed out so simply that like a lot of people just say that, okay, write down journaling and this and this. Sometimes asking the simple question actually gives you the biggest answer to your actually problems and solution. I love the way you actually do this. Okay, so
Yes.
especially when we with the people who have lots of trauma, there is a lot of talk that we need to forgive ourselves, and the forgiveness, this is also a very important part of healing from trauma or healing from this. So what do you think? How do you think that it has importance, that forgiving yourself? Because sometimes we're so harsh on ourselves, we criticize ourselves, that actually instead of like healing trauma, we actually re-traumatize it. So what is the significance of forgiveness?
There is a practice called Metta, which I believe was introduced just for the sake of this process. I forgive all of those people that hurt me today. And I ask for forgiveness, all of the people that I've hurt. And it's like a Sudoku. You need to match the pieces. And forgiveness won't work if you're struggling with other emotions. Like if you are punishing yourself, oh my God, that would be very good. And punishment is emotion that relates greatly with the spleen, anxiety, self-esteem. Most of the people have issues with the spleen. This is the center of the body. And if one of your organ is imbalanced due to lifestyle, due to negative emotions, sooner or later it will pass to the other organ. The spleen is the mother of the heart, and the heart is summer. The heart is fire. If the fire is not in the control, it will burn everything.
Yeah. I think that's very true. This is a very good conversation, and I'm really learning a lot, especially about that how the healing, especially I really like the part that how it is stored in our like body, and then how the seasons are affecting or something. I know that we're actually close to our like it's almost finishing the session. So, what advice would you like to give today to our audience that how if somebody is, I'll actually ask advice in two ways. First, that how they can heal from trauma and how they can help other in healing the process.
Relax. Everything between heaven and earth is perfect. So are you. You are born for a reason. You are here for a reason. You have choose this consciously. You chose those negative emotions as challenges in your life. And with that in mind, be aware that you are able to overcome those challenges. And once you overcome those challenges, you will be a completely different person. Because if you ask a God for growth, will he make you grow? Or will he give you challenges that will cause you to grow? I believe it's the latter.
Yeah.
Embrace the journey. Don't compare yourself to no one else. Judgment is a layer of not being enough, which is an emotion of the spleen. Let it go. Be yourself. Be enough. And by doing this process, by doing the first step, don't shy away from doing the second step. The thing is, nobody can save you, nobody can make you enlightened. Only you have that power. And if only you have that power, believe in yourself.
Yeah, that's amazing thing. A lot of people are actually stuck in that loop of knowing that they cannot do it anything, and I really like the way you said that we have chosen this path to be here, and we have chosen our role to be in
Mm.
this world. So we need to find out that if these challenges are given to us, that means there is a reason, there is a purpose of that. And I often say that when we find out the reason to all these challenges that what we are going through, it turns like those challenges or the pain turns into the strength that help us move to the right direction. So that's one thing that I think we all need to find out, that what is the reason we are facing through, and when we actually achieve that mindset, everything becomes to go in, it gives the right perspective that okay, maybe we are facing this to grow, because God has given this challenge to us to grow and to move into the direction. So I think that's a wonderful analogy and thinking. So
If
yeah.
you adopt that mindset that everything is for a reason and you are here for a reason, life becomes a journey.
Yeah.
It's no longer shallow existence. I do believe that all of us are sparks of this great soul that is using us as its vessel to experience itself. So relax.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we are here to witness the journey. So just relax, see, and go. How
Yeah.
people can actually react to reach out to you. I know this. You are on LinkedIn, so people can actually reach out to the LinkedIn. What else they can reach out to?
I'm pretty easily find on Facebook with the
Okay.
same handle, Baby Llama X.
Okay.
And I am actually offering free sessions right now to release any negative emotions remotely. So you don't
Okay.
need to do absolutely anything apart from drinking lots and lots and lots of water. And
Okay.
grounding is also well.
Okay, that's a very nice of you and so generous of you to offer the free sessions. So anyone, thanks to all the audience for joining, Chan and Matthew and those others who joined us, and those who want to avail the opportunity to join the free session with Andre. Andre, so please message him on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on Insta as well. So with the same
Yes,
handle, Baby Lamex. So thank you so much, Andre, for joining us. It was an amazing session, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's session where you would give the practical tips to release the trauma and that music. I'm also looking forward to listen to it. Thank you so much.
amazing.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me and see you all. And thank you all for listening. I wish you all be peaceful, be blessed, and have fun in life.
Okay.